Hey everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm testing a bunch of new makeup for you guys. I created this kind of spring-inspired look. I used a lot of pinky purple tones, which I don't normally do, but with these videos, I often find that I use makeup in ways that I wouldn't normally when I'm really focusing on just trying new products versus products I always reach for all the time. I'm definitely a creature of habit, so doing stuff like this is really fun for me and inspiring. Before we get into it though, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future videos. But without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so let's jump directly into our base. Today I'm using a new-ish product for primer. It's not super new, but I've been loving it ever since I received it in PR. This is the Glowy Super Gel by Say in the shade Star Glow. And I just think this is a really beautiful, dewy base product. It just makes my skin look really naturally lit from within. The glitters in it are not chunky. It just looks super natural and makes my skin look so healthy. Oh, look at that glow. That is so pretty. Oh, and it just melts right into the skin. It feels so good. I'm mainly just focusing that on my cheek area. I don't really put it too much on my forehead and just a little on my chin. I mainly just like this area of my face to be glowing, so I just apply a pump and rub it in with my fingers. All right, now for foundation, I'm so excited to try this foundation. I just got it in the mail today. I received this in PR. This is the YSL All Hours foundation. This is a luminous matte foundation. I'm not really sure how that works, but I'm excited to see what it looks like on my skin. I received the shade LN1, and so let's see if it's a good match. Ooh, very liquidy, very drippy, interesting. It looks like it'll probably be a good match. So I'm gonna use this foundation with the sponge that was included with it. This is a nice size. I'm not sure how I feel about the harsh lines on this sponge. Usually I like something a little bit rounded, but we'll see, let's give it a go. So I just picked up a little bit of that foundation on the sponge. I'm gonna start working it into the skin. Ooh, quite pigmented. I feel like this is a little bit yellow on my skin, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but right here, I feel like it's a little bit patchy. I'm gonna try and blend that out a little bit more and just really work this into my skin. But I will say a little bit goes a crazy long way. I literally picked up the tiniest bit of product and it covered my entire left side of my face. It's pretty crazy, actually. I'm gonna put a little bit on my forehead as well. All right, so I applied a much sheerer layer on my forehead and I really like the way that applied. I honestly could have applied less on my cheek area. I was not expecting it to be so pigmented and high coverage, but overall, I think I like the way this is applying. It did blend okay. I feel like it could have blended a little bit better, but I'm gonna try it with maybe some other base products and see if that makes a difference. The color, I don't know how I feel about it. I think it has already oxidized a little bit since pumping it out initially on the back of my hand, but we're gonna make it work for today. It might be a little yellow, but it's really not too bad. It is totally, I can totally work with this. I'm just dragging whatever is left on the back of my hand down my neck. Okay, so first impressions of this foundation, I don't really know how I feel. To be completely honest, I don't know how I feel. Personally, I think I would use like half a pump for kind of like an everyday spring, summer makeup. I think one full pump would definitely be reserved for like more full coverage days, events, stuff like that, because a little goes a long way, which is actually really nice. But I'm just not loving the way it is like blending right here on both sides of my cheek. I really don't think you'll be able to tell on camera, but if you look closely, it just is not, it's just not blending smoothly. We've got a little bit of patchiness and a little bit of texture going on, which is really weird because I don't usually get texture like right here. And the finish of it is definitely not matte. It's definitely luminous. I don't know why it's marketed as a luminous matte foundation. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research into this because to me, like I literally just don't know. I just don't know how that would work, you know? Matte is the absence of shine, luminous is shiny. So how can they be two things at once? Anyways, undecided about the foundation, moving on. So for concealers, I have two concealers here. I have the Urban Decay Quickie Concealer, which I'm gonna use kind of for all over my face. And I have this concealer here by Maybelline. I don't know if this is a new concealer, but this is new to me. This is their Superstay Activewear Concealer. And I've tried this a couple times and I am shocked at how good this applies underneath the eyes. No creasing. And when I tried it, I didn't even set this with the powder. So starting with this Maybelline concealer, I have the shade 10. I don't know if they have any lighter shades. If they do, I think I would like to grab a lighter shade just because this isn't quite as brightening as I would like under the eyes, but this is a beautiful concealer for under the eyes. I really love the applicator. It is very detailed and like pointed, and the formula is so thin, which I don't see very often in concealer. So I just apply a little bit like this. And since the applicator is pointed, you can really just pinpoint exactly where you want to apply this concealer. All right, so that is looking pretty good. It applies so light under the eyes because the consistency is so smooth. It just looks so weightless. It feels weightless, and it really just does not crease, which is a mystery to me. But yeah, blends out so easily and feels just so light under the eyes. I don't mind the way this blends out with a sponge either. It actually is really great with a brush or a sponge, so whatever you prefer to do. Both work great with this concealer. I wouldn't say this is a high coverage concealer. I would say this is a solid medium coverage concealer, which I like. I like the under eyes to look really light, but I do like it to cover any darkness or discoloration I have going on under there, and this concealer does just that. So now I'm going in with the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie Concealer. I'm using the shade 20NN, and I'm just gonna apply this concealer anywhere else that I feel like needs a little bit of extra coverage. This concealer is pretty high coverage, so I only applied a little bit. I haven't actually tried the brush that it comes with, so I'm gonna try that out right now, see how that works. All right, so that is what our complexion is looking like. This brush actually worked pretty good. I liked it. And I also just want to note, this concealer has a ton of product in it. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'll never make it through this. Again, this is probably a high medium coverage concealer. I almost wish it was a little bit more high coverage, to be honest. But overall, I do like this concealer. It does give nice coverage and it blends out nicely. It's a good concealer. I'm enjoying it so far. I much prefer the Maybelline one for under my eyes, but I'm noticing, I think there might be something going on with my base today because there's a little bit of patchiness right here too. Maybe my base products are not agreeing with my makeup today, but it's not too bad, honestly. Another thing I'm noticing is these products are running a little bit warm on me, which makes sense because I am so pale right now. Like my skin is see-through, it's so pale. I desperately need to spend some time in the sun. It's getting out of hand. So on that note, I'm going to move on to bronzer. This is new from Say. This is their Sun Melt. I'm using the shade Fair Bronze, and I've been really liking this product. It really melts into the skin nicely. For my pale girlies, this is a really nice light bronze shade. It's not too cool, it's not too warm. It is the perfect kind of bronze slash contour. It really just does both in my opinion, and it's so easy to apply. It just melts right into the skin. I use a Rephr 04 brush, and I usually just apply that in the hollows of my cheeks and on my forehead. I'm just taking that beauty sponge from earlier and just tapping it on top of that bronzer just to make sure everything is really nice and smooth. We're gonna go in with some blush. I'm using the very popular Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush Wand in the shade Pink Pop. This is a really pretty shade for summer. I've been really liking this. I love the formula and I really love the packaging. A lot of people say they don't like this packaging, but I love it. I think it's so cute. It applies product nicely. I don't know, I'm a fan. So I'm just squeezing a little bit of that blush out and then putting a couple dots on my cheeks. Usually 2 is perfect for me. And a little bit on the nose. Using my Rare Beauty blush brush, which is the best for cream blush, I'm gonna blend that out. Honestly, I think I like these matte blush formulas better than the glowy ones, which is crazy for me to say because I really loved the glowy Pinkgasm blush by Charlotte Tilbury. But I did notice the more I used it, the more difficult it was to blend out for some reason. And these, I really have no issue blending out, but I haven't had these for very long. These are a very new product, so I will keep you guys updated and let you know how I continue to like them. But look at how cute this looks for spring. This blush is so adorable, and I feel like this would look good on a ton of skin tones. The Charlotte Tilbury blush wands are actually a little bit sheer, which I like personally. I like a bit of a sheer blush. I don't like anything too crazy pigmented personally, and I feel like these are a nice finish too. They're not like super matte, they're not super powdery, but they're not glowy. I feel like they just look kind of like a natural blush on the skin. So I do really like these. I've been really enjoying them. I'm gonna layer some powders on top of everything later, but for now I'm gonna move into the eyes. So I feel like this palette is still pretty new. This is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette. I really like this palette. I think it's a really great blend of mattes and shimmers. Also, the color story is really up my alley. I'm definitely going to be using this a lot in the spring season, just for everyday looks. I think this is a beautiful palette. So with that being said, I'm dipping into the shade E7, which is a nice kind of warm pinky shade, and I'm going to run that through my crease and just define my eyes. I'm gonna really lightly dust that on my lower lash line as well. Okay, so this next product that I'm gonna use, I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna use it, but I'm so excited. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hypnotizing Pop Shot in the shade Pillow Talk Ultraviolet. It's still in the box. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm so excited to try this eyeshadow. Oh my gosh. These might be the most beautiful eyeshadows I've ever seen. I love the little colored gems and the cute little rose gold packaging. Ugh, I just think these are adorable. And this is what that shade looks like. How pretty is this for spring? Just this beautiful like lilac violet color. Oh my goodness. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna really lightly kind of diffuse this color all over the lid and see how it looks and go from there. So I'm starting with a more dense synthetic brush just to press that onto the lid because these are shimmery. Some of the other formulations I've tried of these shadows have had a little bit of fallout, although the shade appears to have less chunky glitter and more fine glitter. So I'm not really finding that there's a lot of fallout. So then once I've applied a solid base of that purple shade, I take a fluffier blending brush and just melt it into that crease shade, which gives a really pretty blended kind of look. I think I want to take a little bit of that purple on the lower lash line as well, but I think I'm going to keep it in the inner half of my lower lash line. So I'm just taking a dense synthetic brush and applying it. All right, so I do want to keep the eyes pretty light, so I'm going to leave it like this for now. I might add a little bit more depth and dimension later, but I'm going to go in with some liner. So this is the Ye paint by Violette FR. I don't know if this is new, but this is certainly new to me. I think this color is so pretty, so I'm just gonna do a really nice baby wing using this. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this eye paint on the back of my hand like that, and I'm taking a little tiny angled brush and using that to create a baby wing. I think I'm gonna take it into my inner corner a little bit as well. I don't know how long wearing this product is or how well it's gonna set down, but we'll find out. Okay, so what meant to be a baby liner turned into full-on eyeliner. It was one of those days where one side's a little bit thicker, so you add a little bit more to one side, then this side's thicker, and then it just never ends. So my liner's a bit thicker than I anticipated, but I did really like working with that formula. It was actually really nice as an eyeliner, and this stuff dries down. Like, once it's on there, it won't budge. I had a bunch on the back of my hand and I just tried to take it off and it was really hard to remove. So I think this is gonna be a really nice long wearing eye paint. So I'm excited to see how this wears. I think these two colors look really nice together. What do you guys think? I think these purples are really nice for spring. So using this Crystal Dimension eyeliner by Charlotte Tilbury, I'm just putting a little bit of this in the center of my eye, just show a little bit more attention to the eyes, and just because I wanted to try this liner. I've never used it before. It's a metallic liquid liner, and yeah, I just thought this color looked really pretty, so I added it on as well. Okay, so to brighten up the eyes a little bit, I'm going in with my favorite. This is not a new product. This is by Sweet. This is their Bright Satin Kohl eyeliner, and I'm just running this in my waterline to give my eyes a bigger, brighter appearance. And then to finish off the eyes, I'm going in with mascara. This is a new-ish mascara. It's been out for a few months, but this is the Make Waves mascara by Tower 28. This is one of my favorite mascaras at the moment. I am obsessed with it. Honestly, this one's pretty dried out. It is probably time for a new tube. Okay, so you may notice a few things are different since I was applying mascara. My memory card got full, so I had to dump everything off it. And in the meantime, what I did was applied some falsies. I applied these ones by Fairy Lashes. These are in the style Flora. This is their Cashmere Collection pre-cut lashes. I just put 2 little clusters on the outer corners, just to add a little bit of drama. And then I also removed the inner corner liner from my eyes. I honestly just thought it looked a little better without. I changed my mind, so I did that as well. And now we have this. Anyways, moving on to brows. I am so excited about this new brow gel I just discovered. This is by Refi, and I'm using the shade Medium Brown. This is a brow tint. And normally I'm not a huge fan of brow tints. I'm more of a clear brow gel girl. But these brow tints are so nice. They're not chunky, they're really natural looking, but very strong holds. I just go over my brows once and brush them into place, and I just find this gives my brows a really nice, natural yet fluffy look. So as you can see, my brows just look really nice and defined. They're brushed into place. This brow gel is super long wearing and, like I said, strong hold. So I'm really liking this brow tint. I'm gonna fill in my brows really lightly with the Brow Code Imitations brow pencil in the shade Deep Dark Brunette. I'm mainly gonna focus that on the tail of my brow. So moving on to lips, I'm actually wearing a little bit of lip liner right now. I'm using the shade Soft Spoken, I believe, by NYX, but I thought it would be really pretty and flattering if I used the same blush I used on my cheeks on my lips. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that Charlotte Tilbury blush on my lips. Okay, I actually love that on the lips. I love a baby pink lip, but I feel like I want to add a little bit more lip liner just to define things a little bit more. I'm gonna go in with this one by Morphe. This is in the shade Wifey, and they just released these. These are their Soul Matte Filling Gel Lip Liner. I've never tried these before, so I'm really excited to give it a shot. I'm just kind of defining the edges of my lips. The shade is actually really pretty, very natural and soft looking, which I like. So Kosas did come out with a few new shades of their lip oils, and this one's really pretty, kind of an iridescent pink shade. I thought it would go really good with the eye look actually, because there's a little bit of like purpley undertones in the glitter, so we'll see how this looks. So I don't know if I would go with this kind of lip gloss for every day, but with this look, it actually looks pretty good. Normally for gloss, I don't go for something super shimmery or like holographic, sort of like this. I don't know if that's the right word, but it actually does go nice with this lip. But again, probably wouldn't be reaching for this every day. So I'm going in with powder now. I'm using this one by NARS. This one's pretty new. This is their Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder, and I use the shade Cliff. I've only tried this once before, but it seems to be a really nice powder. I love the packaging. The packaging is so sleek and minimal, so it's really easy to bring along with you, or just to like toss it in your purse if you need to touch up your makeup on the go. But this powder is very, very matte. So if you are big into the matte look, you would probably really like this powder. Guys, I wasn't kidding you. There's 0 creases under my eyes from that concealer, and there's been no powder on the whole time. My under eyes still look perfect. I really don't need to set them, but I just want to mattify a few places. But I'm so impressed by that Maybelline concealer. I'm gonna link it in the description box down below. I don't know exactly how much it costs, but this might be my favorite concealer at the moment, and considering I don't actually use a lot of drugstore, I'm so impressed by it. So I'm definitely going to try a few more drugstore products to see if I can find any hidden gems. If you have any recommendations for me for the best drugstore products, please leave them down below. I really want to start experimenting more with drugstore makeup. I'm just using a powder brush to press that powder underneath my eyes. I'm just using a very small amount. I'm also going to set around my mouth and a little bit on my forehead. I really like the way that powder applied. It gives a very like filtered effect to the skin, very smoothing, very matte, very perfecting. So I'm really excited to keep playing with this one. I think this might be a new favorite. Last but not least, I'm going in with blush, and I haven't actually tried the Dior pink blush that everyone has been raving about, but I think I might have a dupe. This blush is by ColourPop. This is their pressed powder blush in the shade Flamingo, and it looks very similar to the Dior one, and I've actually tried this once before and I thought it was so pretty. I didn't think I would really like this as much as I did. It looks a little crazy in the pan, which is why I didn't try the Dior one, but this one is so affordable and it's really pretty, very matte, really gives you that, I don't know, that airbrushed kind of look on the cheek. So I'm just taking that on a big fluffy brush and I'm just going to tap it right on top of where I applied blush earlier. I don't want to apply too much. I just want a little bit of that color to peek through. If you've tried the Dior blush, let me know if you think they look similar, because based on what I've seen, they look super similar. I feel like this one might be a little bit more matte. The Dior one looks a little bit more sheer. All right, and that is it for today's look. What do you guys think? This is a little bit out of my comfort zone. I don't wear a ton of color, but I actually really like this purple on the eyes. It definitely makes my eyes look a little bit more green, and I think it's really fun for summer. I think this shadow kind of all on its own as a wash of color is really pretty and actually quite wearable. Let me know if there are any other new products you think I should try. Leave them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.